Hello and welcome to another episode from the water's edge, and you catch up with us currently on the historic and absolutely amazing River Yare, one of my favourite places to fish. But this is going to be no means least the last venue we visit today, and that is because myself and Chris are back out on another 15-hour challenge, and actually repeating one that we tried last year that was probably one of our favourite things to film, so we thought we'd give it another go. And that is the Three Waterways challenge, in the fact that I've got to catch a fish from a lake over £5, a river over £3, and then in the sea over £1, all in 15 hours. Starts at 7 o'clock, but we're actually already fishing. So we left home at 7, and time we got down here, we've been fishing about half an hour. It's now about 8:30. So it's well and truly underway. I'm going to try and crack on. I've chose to fish the river first because I think this is the hardest thing today, is potentially going to be getting a £3 from the river. I've got down here, although this has got so many big fish in, skimmers, bream, when it's fishing well and coloured, it's crystal clear, and I'm really not that confident looking at it. So we may need a change of plan, but I'm going to give this a good couple of hours of my time before re-evaluating and possibly moving on. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Concentrate on this tip, get a few casts going in. You never know, it may throw us up a decent surprise. So fingers are crossed and we're underway. So I think we've got either a little roach or perhaps a little skimmer, I'm not sure, a little rattle on the tip, and we're into a fish at least. And I never ever doubted that we were going to catch fish in this river. I think it probably, you know, in its time is, it's a little skimmer actually, is probably the best river in the country when it's fishing. But what I was doubting is the colour, but the fact that it's a little skimmer is a good sign. When I say little, I mean he is little. He's certainly not £3, but it's a good start. It proves that potentially we're in the right area to catch a few fish. So we'll get him unhooked, and then while I'm doing that, I'll talk you through exactly what we're doing. Nice and simple. We've done a few videos on the Yare and I've not changed anything. I mean, I'm travelling a little bit lighter. I'm fishing from a chair rather than a seat box. Bait wise, I've got maggots, casters, worms, a bit of ground bait, and I'm just going to nick perhaps 3 maggots to start with on here. And then rig wise, the standard 2-ounce feeder running in 2-leap system with a rolling swivel to stop the hook link twisting. But it's really windy today, and currently we've got wind against tide, so it's not really pushing through that hard, but it's hard to decipher bites, and it's quite hard to sort of make sure you're holding bottom in this wind, because it is really awkward sometimes, wind against tide. But we're fishing, we've caught, we'll get another bait out there. There we go, same spot, clipped up, and then hopefully it won't be too long before something a bit bigger comes along. So I battled a few roach, and I've finally got something a little bit better. I'm not convinced he's going to be the £3 we're after, but it's certainly pulling back a bit, and it's going to be a skimmer, I believe. It is a skimmer. It's now coming in. He's not, no, he's not going to make the £3, but after I mentioned the clear water and not ideal situations and what I evaluated earlier, I really didn't expect to catch, well, anything of sort of bream skimmer relation, so well chuffed with that. I'm pretty convinced he's not going to go £3, but forget the eye backing, because I haven't been on the rivers for a while. I might weigh him, because then it will give us an evaluation, hopefully, if we do catch a £3. But normally, where there's 1 or 2 of these, they stick together, so keep putting it in that same hole, chuck in the same spot. Let's get him quickly weighed, slip back, and see if we can definitely get ourselves one a little bit bigger. There we go. And to be fair, well, he's a few ounces under £2, but to have a fish that big in, like I said earlier, less than ideal conditions, it has raised the spirits slightly. So I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna pop another fit out. It's so windy. I hope you can hear us on the mics. It really is windy out here, so there's a lot of variables that is making it slightly tricky. But I'm going to get another cast out there now, and I guess the thing is, and the hardest thing is how long do I give it? Because if I want to be completely honest, I think if I fished here and carried on fishing, I would catch a £3 fish. I'm pretty confident of that, but that's no good if it takes me all day to do. I mean, there's going to be action in amongst these smaller roach, skimmers, that there's going to be the odd bigger fish, but it would be a case of like a numbers game till you catch one. And if the condition was better, if it was more coloured, I'd stay here longer, because I think you definitely would catch a bigger one. But with conditions how they are, even though we've just had a bit of good fortune and a better sign, I'll probably want to leave here by, what should I say, 11 perhaps. I mean, we'll still then have to come up with another plan B for a river. We then got to get to a lake and the sea, so there's plenty to do. But yeah, like I said, you would catch a £3, but it is a matter of time. So I'm going to really get aggressive now. I'm going to up the worm, up the caster, probably up the cast rate. Now I know there's some fish there. Give it, I don't know, a good hour, 11 o'clock or something like that, and we'll finish. And if we haven't had one by then, we revert to plan B. So feeders out there, wind's blowing, and it's a bit in the hands of the fishing gods at the moment. I can't do a lot more than just keep plugging away. Well, literally just after I said that I was going to give it till about 11, we've had a decent bite and struck, and when you hit these bigger fish, you can tell that there's weight there, but I'm going to guess it's around about the same size as the other one, but it's definitely bigger than like a hand-sized skimmer, so this is a chance, and I don't think we're going to get many chances today. Oh, I'm really not convinced, I don't know. He's better, he's definitely better. Come on. Whee! He's ours. Let's have a look at him and then... Oh, it's not quite there, I don't think. I'll have a way, but I don't think it's quite there, but it's certainly something to think about. But now that's really has thrown me, because if that's not £3, how much longer do I attempt to fish when I know that that's now the second one I've had that's, you know, is getting towards the target mark? So I don't know. Well, first thing, let's weigh him. I think he's going to be half a poundish short, but let's get him on the scales. Well, how frustrating was that? Not the fishing. The Yare as always produces great day sport, but I've had fish pretty much from the off, from roach, perch, hand-sized skimmers, and then them two fish, one just over £2 I thought was a bit bigger, one just under, but I always felt like every cast I was going to get a free. It was so close it felt, and I think if I stayed on fishing I would get one, but the wind is just so savage, the tides come in, it sort of flooded us out a bit, and time really is against us. If I fished all day I know I'd catch one, but we haven't got that. So I think now time is 20 past 12, half 12, something like that, so we've got loads of time left, but I've got to move on. I was enjoying it, so plan B, find a different river and see if we can't find ourselves a fish over £3. So plan B is underway, and I'm gonna head out towards Bungay for a nice little stretch of river, but actually myself and Chris were talking, we put it in the sat nav. There's a nice little lake we've filmed on before, which is literally like a 2-mile detour. So it's now 10 past 1. We've got 5 or 6 miles to lake. It's literally like 2 miles out of the way from the way we were going. So a quick plan is I'm going to try and whip in there, see if I can catch myself a £5, and then straight back out again onto the river. Now we're going towards Bungay, so this is right on the edge of our limit. So if you didn't watch the last time we done this challenge, I have to stay within an hour from my home address. So this was what made the challenge hard for me. I could drive probably somewhere in the country with better river systems, say like the Trent or something like that, and this would be quite easy. But for around here it's relatively hard, and yeah, it's made it interesting, hasn't it? You don't want to do it really easy, it'd be boring. So couple of minutes away now, hopefully a quick in and out, back on the river, and it'll get us back on track. So that's the plan. We'll get unloaded, we'll get there, and hopefully we'll catch up with you on the lake. So hopefully a very quick pit stop. I've got to speak a little bit quieter because we've got some fish feeding really close and down the edge. Now hopefully this is going to be 1 or 2 cast job, in and out, and we'll be back on the road. But really simple, a couple of grains of corn. I'm going to fish it lift style mess, if that's going to be on the bottom, the larger shot, and then a little wagger on top of it. I'm going to keep it really simple. It's just lowering it off the end of the rod tip, and hopefully it's not going to take very long. There's quite a few other people fishing around the lake, so I don't want to disturb them. So I'm going to crawl down there, lower it in. We've already chucked a bit of ground bait in by hand, a few grains of corn, and hopefully that's going to be the winner. Right, there's the bite. Now we just got to hope he's over £5. Boy, come on. Shot out of that edge. Really quick, as you'd expect, but need to keep on top of him because there's a lot of reeds here. I'm not convinced. Let's get him on the scales. There we are in true fashion today, as the river has gone just the same as the lake. This is 2 ounces short, so no to go on that one. I'm going to be putting a bit more bait in, get another float, a couple of bits of corn down the edge, and hopefully next one breaks that £5 barrier. So no time wasted, let's get him back. Encouraging. Come on, big £5. We need some luck our way today. Play good, play good. Come on. Yes, he's £5. I say that, I better weigh him first. Come on. Well, never have I been so chuffed to catch a £5. Literally a few ounces over, and finally a bit of luck in our favour. It's been so frustrating on the river, and then the one a couple of ounces under 5 to start with. But second time lucky, second time of asking. We've done it. So it's now time to get packed up on the road, and we need to get back on the river. Well, that is a bit of a relief off my shoulders, but it's surprisingly now nearly 3:30. It really does go quick when you try and do these challenges. But we're on the road again, so that was Topcroft where we just were, a mega little lake, and it's got the £5 we needed from a still water. So back to the rivers, I think that's the plan before we go on to the sea later. And I think a chub is on the card. So we've got about 4 or 5 miles left to get to the river. I'm going to get this drive done, and hopefully we'll catch up with you on the riverbank. So the fact you find me outside a tackle shop, it probably indicates that the fishing has not gone so well. So when you're struggling, there's one place to go. That's AD Beckles. So we picked up a sea bait, at least that's one thing ticked off. And Phil also works here. So if you watch AD TV, which I also done with Phil, then you'll know he knows a few spots for a chub or two. So we've actually, hands up, we've asked for some help. So he's gonna, he leaves off in about 5 minutes. We'll wait for him to leave off. As soon as he leaves off, he's gonna see if we can get a chub, and then we're gonna head down to the beach. So after what has been an age, it seems like, since we've seen the fish, battling with bikes, children jumping in, swimmers, rowers, everything, any bit of river we went to, the man himself, Phil, as we mentioned, has brought us to the first spot, and wow, there is a lot of fish here. This isn't going to take long. I'm hopefully going to lower a bit of bread in, and they're going to have it straight away, because anything we chuck in there, there's about 4 charging to get it. Now, we just got to fingers crossed and pray that it's going to be over £3. So let's drop it in and this isn't going to take long. Oh, don't come off! This is hairy moment. He's there. Yes! Oh, that could be £3. Right, composure. Right. I'll pop this down here and then I'm going to weigh him first. Oh, that is an absolute joy to see. Phil, I would kiss you now if you were close enough. Honestly, you haven't seen how hard we've worked. If there's ever a knight in shining armour, you'd get labelled it today. But £3, literally pretty much on the dot, and that is all we need to get out and get back fishing again, but this time in the sea. So we're going to slip this one back. Job here is done. A very, very long job, but it's been worth the effort when you get the rewards. Felt like that was forever coming. Right, onto the beach. So that is 2 of the 3 done to complete the challenge, and I've got a new lease of life. I was really, really dejected earlier. Some of the stuff you haven't seen on camera is the spots we've turned up to, and there's people swimming, dogs jumping in. We've even found some fish there, but we just couldn't fish them. It seems that the British summertime, wherever there's a bit of river, there was someone having a picnic and playing in the water of some description. Really frustrating, but a huge thanks to Phil. The first spot he knew about, he took us there and we caught one really quick. So challenge is well and truly back on, but we've got about 10 miles to go till we get to the beach. We're on the way now, and the time is just gone 7 o'clock, so we are pushing it, but we've got, I don't know, time it gets up 2.5 hours perhaps by the time we get to the beach and set up. So finish this drive and we'll catch up again on the beach. So after what has felt like a mammoth effort already today, we're at the final place on the beach, and all we need to complete is a £1 fish. So I borrowed Chris's gear, multipliers for the first time, so there could be a laugh or two out there for everyone, but a couple of different approaches. Again, Chris is our sea fishing expert, so we've got on his recommendation. On this one I'm now quickly baiting up. I've just got a 2-hook flapper, and I'll put a couple of worms on each, and we'll fish that relatively close. I don't want to lose all my options, because I've seen before a lot of the times where people have chucked so far and then they either even miscast or just drop one shorter on purpose, and sometimes, surprisingly, you can get a half decent fish. And like I said, we don't need anything massive. I need something of £1. So that's the plan for this one. Slip one more worm on. I'll go 2 worms in each. We've got some fresh lug from AD just a minute ago, so we've got £1 or so a worm. And then what I'm going to do on the other rod is I'm going to fish a bigger fisher bait, so perhaps a couple of sand eel, and I'll whip those together and then whip those onto the hook, and I'll try and fish that a bit longer. So I'm covering a few options, potential of a dogfish or something on that, and then literally anything that swims on the worm. So those are now going to get fired out there, and hopefully we'll report back with the last bit of the puzzle, which is a £1 sea fish. Let's get it out there. So I'm now going to get the first one in. I've had a few little rattles on the worm, so I would imagine there's going to be something, but I would guess the obligatory whiting that seems to make an appearance every time we do a sea fishing video. So we'll see. Not very hopeful actually by feeling it that there's anything, but there was certainly a couple of rattles. So the fish in the area, I've seen chap up the other hand, a real small little smooth hand pup, and I mean really small, but again shows there's fish in the area. So we'll get this one in. Like I said, don't put nothing on it, but we'll plug away, get another bait out, and hopefully, well, if anything, the one on the couple of sand eel is the one that's going to go, because we might then actually have a chance of something over the pound that we need. But oh, there is a couple of little ones here. Not going to make the pound, but a mega start. And a double species hookup. Look at that. Little bass on this one. And then on this one, a little whiting. That, for a first cast, doesn't go much better than that. He's not quite going to make a pound, this little bass, I don't think, but yeah, what a way to start. Let's get him back. Well, second cast, and this time a bit more of a positive pull down. Chris said that potentially it could be another little schoolie bass, so we'll have a look. It's not been out there long, but when it gives a good little nod like that, it's worth just checking, because I only need it to be a pound. I don't need anything absolutely massive. So we'll have a little look. Really good little bite. I think we're now coming to the end of the tide, so we're going to get about an hour or so just after the tide, which is also potentially going to be good. So a little something on here, I think, but what is it? I'm not sure. No! Oh, I thought that was going to be something a bit bigger then. Wait until you see this. Absolute classic, this. An eel. They're not my favourite species anywhere, but especially out of the sea when you're not expecting them. The only saving grace is I'm going to weigh him. I don't think he's going to be a pound, but he's got a bit of weight behind him, so it's worth a little look. But that is not the one, is it? That is not the one. Ugh. I thought it was a bit ambitious, and I was going to say I'll never moan about an eel again, but he's only 12 ounces, so my hatred for eels continues when we'll get him slipped back. That is close. Ah.
Well, so what an absolutely glorious evening on the beach. The sea's flat calm, the sun is just sort of setting behind us. I'm still here in shorts, it's really, really warm. And yeah, what a fantastic way to end a really, really enjoyable day, to be honest with you. It's been a long day, but it's been thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable. And I knew sort of last year when we filmed this, it was, you know, I really wanted to have another go at it, and I'm glad we found a day to come out and do it. So I do hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you have, smash that like button, and yeah, drop us a comment below if there's anything else you'd like us to perhaps get out and set us a challenge or anything like that. But yeah, we've got a few hours left as yet, so fingers crossed Steve might be able to manage a few more fish. And more importantly, that fish of over a pound. But I think it's time we get the barbie sparked up, get the burgers cooking, and yeah, sit back and take in what is a really, really enjoyable evening on the beach.
Couple of really good rattles on this rod, so it's worth having a look. I'm praying it's not another eel. Unless it's over a pound, then I'll forgive it. But same sort of bite, it's just a bit rattly, so you don't know if it's one or two. This is on the 2-hook rig, so it could easily be a couple of whiting or something like that. But nothing on the sand eel as yet, but I think it's worth persevering with that, because if that does me one bite today, that'll probably be all I need. So I'm gonna stick with that and then plug away with this and see if anything comes up over a pound a bit closer in. So definitely something bumping again. Doesn't feel particularly big, however. Well, as expected, a couple of whiting. Now, I don't think Chris is going to let me combine them, because combined they'd probably be a pound, but on their own they're not. But as we said, it's fish, It's getting bites. Literally, like these last 3 casts have been in 5 or 10 minutes, and they've had two hookups now, and then that eel. So good signs. As I said, plug away with these, and we'll leave that one sitting there for a bigger one. Let's get these back. So we've just lit the barbie, and there is something quite special about sitting on the beach having some nice food. We've got a few burgers each, Tesco's finest of course, and some cheese, a couple of rolls, but the rods are out, and there's just something special about sitting outside enjoying some really good time with one of my best mates. People quite often ask us why we do this, and in all honesty we enjoy what we do, and moments like this, just sitting down, having a chat, having a laugh together off camera, while hopefully waiting to complete this challenge. A good run earlier. That, what else can you ask for? We're happy, we're enjoying it, and we're going to get these burgers. The burgers are on, and the worm rod is still rattling away, so it's definitely producing the most action. I'm not sure if it's going to be anything on it, but again, positive bites, good indication, and you feel that one of these could just be what we need. To be fair, I think the only thing that's going to beat us is the time. It just depends if we're going to get something come along over a pound in the time frame. Not sure how long we've got left, to be fair. I haven't looked at it, but you know, losing the light a little bit, so I would say, I don't know, 45 minutes perhaps. But it's certainly enough to get a few casts out there, and we just pray for something of the size we need. But feels like there's something small on here again. And there we are, double bubble again. 2 more, just confirm, yeah, 2 more whiting. And I guess no one has told them it's summer, that they should be gone by now. But they seem to be about longer and longer, and in more numbers every time. So it's still fish, at least you're catching. I don't think one of those is going to be over a pound, but a little schoolie or something like that, that's got every chance. So we'll get these hooks out, 2 fresh baits on, flip those burgers over, and get another chart. So burgers are flipped, and just while we were doing that, we've had a big knock on the worm rod again. So it's not pulled the lead out, but it's definitely worth a look. So let's see what we've got. Well, I thought it was going to be bigger than that, unless something's hit that top hook and come off, but that wasn't the culprit of that bite. But never mind, let's get him slipped off the hook and we'll get him back. Well, even though I cooked them myself, top marks for that, that is well needed after a long day. As we come into the last few minutes, I'm going to finish my burger. Probably got time for one more cast, and then what will be, what will be. So everything's crossed, 2 more chucks. Right, so literally last cast, and it's dark enough now, just need a headlight, and we've had probably the best bite of the night. Almost dislodged the lead, but I think there's something on here, but it's not feeling particularly massive. But you never know. This will be it for that. All the bait's gone, the time's up, and let's see what we've got on here. Well, there is no way that bite come from that. One of the smallest ones I've had tonight. Greedy little fella, but there must be loads of these out there. It really isn't like 5 minutes and you're getting really good knocks, so you're probably getting 1 or 2 of these, depending on what rig I've got. If it's 2 hooks, I'm probably getting 2 hit it. So not the pan for that one. 1 rod left fishing. We'll get this one slipped back, pack this rod up, and then we'll have a look at the last one. So that's it. and the fact that I'm sitting in the car probably indicates exactly what was on the other rod, and that was nothing, unfortunately. So a mere 4 ounces away from doing it, but that's pretty irrelevant really. It's more about the journey. Every fishing trip is about a journey. As long as you enjoy it and you take things in, it's worth the effort. And boy, has that been an effort today. We've had some really good fishing on the air. That cost us quite a bit of time. Potentially the river is what took up most of our day, but good fishing on there. And I think actually all combined, we've put 8 species on camera, and we had a tiny little cocky rough that we didn't manage to get as well. So 9 species I've caught today over 3 different waterway systems. It's been a big effort, big rewards, but not quite the cherry on the top reward that we want to get all 3. 4 ounces, as I said. But never mind. I hope you've enjoyed it. We really enjoyed filming these, and it's well worth, if you are a multi-species, multi-discipline angler, go and try it yourself and let us know how you get on. Because for me personally, when I started this, I thought it would be relatively easy, and I've proved that it's not as easy as I thought. So let us know if you do it, how you get on, where you fish, what you caught. I'd love to hear about it. I hope you enjoyed what we've done. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos, and we'll see you again on the next one.